Greetings, Internet! This is Ozzy840, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Danmakufu, featuring a simple battle against Patchouli. Oh, you're telling me it's pronounced Patchouli? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just reading it as spelled. Yeah. Anyway, the reason this episode is coming so soon after my last one, and before another episode of Let's Play Labyrinth of Toe, is because this script happens to have it's popped up recently, and happens to have created a bit of controversy. Namely, in how much stuff it actually directly lifts from other scripts. Particularly, the Rumia boss battle by Fondue Master, and even some things that were inadvertently taken from myself. I'll explain more about that later. But I'm all for copying code. I mean, because I mean, it's just code. When you come down to it, it's just lines of text and logic. But then you also have areas where you copy images, copy whole sections of code that create special effects that may have taken a while for that person, the creator, to make. And then you also have the fact that you didn't credit anyone. And it's all very obvious, and there's a lot of it. So, in this script, while I play, why don't you count the number of similarities, if not exact duplicates of things that were from the Rumia boss battle. Anyway, the one thing though that I definitely can't forgive, and that's there was actually so much blatantly taken as that the shot sheet actually was referring to a folder that didn't exist. So whenever you tried to load the script, it would actually error. Because it's trying to refer to the Rumia boss battle, which is what it was used in initially. You copy-pasted it and never remembered to change it to Patchouli Knowledge instead, so I had to go do that in order for the script to work. Yeah, I think it should be pretty basic requirement that you test scripts before you upload them to BulletForge. So yeah, that's a problem. But anyway, let's dive right in. Code stealing apart. This is a good script, and I'm about to prove it. Let's go. And here I'm using this is in Danmakufu PH3, by the way, if you couldn't tell. And this is GTBot's Arbiter team, Kamachi and Shikieki player team, a la Imperishable Knight, and it's really good. I highly recommend people download it. It's great. You should be able to find it on BulletForge, and I'll link it in the description. Let's go. Anyway, we start out with simple non-spell signature, non-directional laser. Not a whole lot different from the original, aside from more randomness. But then again, you do have little things like that to differentiate from the beginning. Not too much, enough to keep familiar, enough to keep it fresh. So, it's decent. One similarity you might see here already is Fire Sign Ring of Fire. Rather, the spell card text is actually directly lifted from Fondue's Rumia boss battle. So yeah, that's a thing. Other than that, the attack is pretty neat, if a little short-lived. And then this, whoa, I thought it like hit me for sure. And then this attack seems to be pretty close to the same as the last one until you get this. I don't know, it's pretty good. That part's cool and all, but there's not much to it in terms of dodging. Anyway, we have Water Sign Beam Laser. I'm not really sure what beam lasers have to do with water sign, but whatever. It's pretty neat, but it's also pretty simple as well. I do love the glowy. Whoops. Oh, no, you have this part that gets, I swear, a little bit too dense on the lasers. But you always have the glowy bullets, and that's always a plus for me. Oh, see that circle above Patchouli? That is a common PH3 mistake that people make. Oh, but before I get to that, I should probably mention that, oh. That lag? No, it's not. These are just that slow. That non-spell is actually a bit of controversy there, too. Purportedly, people think it's very similar to the non-spells from the Giratina script up on BulletForge, but I didn't really notice that the first time I played through it, so I won't hold anything against it. I don't think it's... But now that I think about it, do have to admit there. That last spell card, not a whole lot going on there, so I didn't say anything. Just a lot of random dots. The curvy lasers look nice, but they don't do much of anything. Same thing as the last few non-spells. And that blue circle still hasn't gone away, and it's not going to either. The problem is that the effect was still running when the script ended, so the effect never properly was deleted. And that's a problem a lot of people have with PH3 that I figured out ways around. But even once in a while, every once in a while I have it too. This spell card, whoop, I bombed that time. Earth Sign Rock Spike. It's alright. I'm not really a huge fan of it. It seems very much like the non-spells, and this non-spell is... It's alright. It's alright too, but not terribly exciting. But it's a non-spell. I don't really hold much against it. Go away. Thank you. Bullets also... Another PH3 error is bullets that continue to fire after the attack is done. That's like Mateo's script. Now this I like a lot. Metal Sign Magnet Ball. As you can probably tell, the metal magnet here is the glowing orb that's spinning around the player's position, attracting the other bullets towards it. Now, I thought that was a really neat idea. And that's something I like about the script a lot. Even if I don't like the how random the knives are. And then we have another undeleted effect to add to the collection, and Fantasy Sign Magic Orb. Why do I... This is like Fantasy Seal, I swear. Or at least... Okay, the name makes it sound like that, but... Anyway, it functions more like Philosopher's Stone. And I got hit there. Anyway, yeah, it functions like Philosopher's Stone, and it actually is extremely similar to Philosopher's Stone. And hey, that background look familiar? Sure does. Also, this music is coincidentally the same music I used for my first Patchouli script, which you may remember if you watch my old videos. But yeah, that's a simple battle against Patchouli. Honestly... you can tell due to a lot of those beginner PH3 mistakes that this is TalosMistake's first PH3 script, which I just realized I didn't mention the name of the person. Well, it'll be in the title. But yes, this is so he says the first full PH3 script. Now, because of that, I can see why he'd probably be inclined to take a lot of stuff directly from other people who have experience in it. Hell, I did it too. I took a lot of things from other people's existing PH3 stuff so I could learn how it works and then adapt it for myself. I didn't take quite as much as this, or at least not without making significant changes to most of it. But one thing I definitely do in projects, I haven't released any, but when I do release them, I plan on giving credit to every significant contributor that I took a lot of stuff from, like GTPod, for example. I'm using a lot of things that were based in code that he originally wrote. So obviously I'm going to be crediting him a lot. The problem that TalosMistake did here is that he didn't credit anyone. He might not think that's necessary, but people, you can't really... Okay, it's like this. A line of code, copying this code might not seem like very much to you, but it's all subjective. It's going to depend on... Different people are going to have different opinions of this. So just to be safe, just drop a line in your script saying, I borrowed this from so-and-so. They deserve the credit from this. It's not very hard to do, and you'll make sure no one gets really mad. Well, unless they still get mad at you taking it without permission, but that's not very likely to happen. We're all pretty much, considering the fact that we all steal from Zune, I don't think we can all... Well, most of us do. I don't think we can be too demanding in that sort of, this is mine, do not steal. I don't think we can be that hypocritical when we're all pretty much just taking things from Zune a whole lot. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the script. It's pretty nice. The spell cards are the first one's unique. They're all pretty okay-ish. They could use a little bit of work. I don't know. Patchouli scripts are also kind of done to death. They're pretty interesting. The non-spells are alright. I don't really know if it's that copying Guillotine or not. Whatever. Non-directional laser, it's okay. It's a very average script. And brought down by some of that controversy I mentioned before. TalosMistake does make a lot of good ones, as I've seen. This is probably one of his weaker entries, but I'm definitely going to be playing more of those in the future because deserves a little bit more exposure. But I do hope that you watch this Talos Mistake and learn from your mistake. Ha ha ha. Anyway, this is Ozzy840, and have a great day.